This is a meeting that took place in Brooks County, Georgia. Georgia Secretary of State Brian P. Kemp, investigator Glenn Austin, sat in at the meeting. This is my introduction, and now I want you to have the rest of the story. Today is August 9th, 2012. I'm in front of the Brooks County office building, and we understand that representatives from the Secretary of State's office, investigators section, will be here in Quitman this morning at 12 o'clock. This is KVCI, Blogspot, Boston, G.B.R, George, Boston, Ryan. We're getting ready to go to that meeting, but I thought I would come here to film to give you an introduction into what's going on. On July the 17th, 2012, I recorded some video footage of the Brooks County Board of Elections meeting, and there was concerns at this meeting concerning questions being asked to voters, the procedures in which the meetings were conducted, the minutes and how they are recorded here in Brooks County, along with some problem with candidates qualifying for office, as well as Commissioner James Maxwell's problems concerning whether he was eligible or qualified to run for office. So there have been concerns, and in addition to that, I've also had a couple of people to talk about, they put in applications to be a poll watcher, among other things. I have been emailing Brian Kemp office about the problems in Brooks County and the Quitman 10 in terms of a speedy trial, and he emailed me this week. However, what we want you to know today is that we are here in Brooks County because we want you informed. If the newspapers, television stations, and radio does not report what is about to happen at this meeting, we're asking you to just simply watch Boston G.B.R channel because we want you informed. We realize and we understand that here in the United States of America, we respect and we are known around the world as being a nation of laws with freedom of speech, freedom of the press, etc., etc. And so as we get ready to go to Culpeper Street, a local church in the community, where we understand an investigator will be coming to speak with the concerns of the voters and citizens here in Quitman and Brooks County, Georgia. As a retired military veteran, I respect the rights of citizens, and I served my nation for over 20 years to try and build a better electorate as well as representatives of our various communities. This is just one step in the process here in Brooks County. So once again, this is kvci.blogspot.com, YouTube Boston GBR. Let us go and see what is taking place at a public meeting here in Quitman in Brooks County, Georgia. Once again, it is August the 9th, 2012, in the heartbeat of your community, doing what we do because it's the right thing to do. Thank you. Stay tuned for the rest of the story.
Can I get your name, sir?
Yes. My name is J.C., the initials. Cunningham, C-U-N-N-I-N-G-H-A-M.
Okay, sir.
One of the reasons that myself and Dr. Jenner thought that we need to get in touch with the Secretary of State's office is the fact that there are several things that the Board of Elections has taken upon themselves to have arbitrary rules that have anything to do with any policies that were set forth by the Board of Elections. And I start with one, making the statements that that people had to be certified in a training in order to register folks to vote. Even to the point of saying at one time, if you did not have a certificate, you could not register people to vote.
What was that second one about birth certificate?
You had to have a certificate from the Board of Elections in order to register folks to vote. I brought that to Mr. Collins' attention, saying that Mr. Collins, you cannot, first of all, when you give that certificate out, what you're in fact saying is that Board of Elections is saying that you have to go through a formal training and have that receipt, thus denying or suppressing individuals and organizations the right to register people to vote, as you see in that exhibit right there.
All right, so like you're saying,
he went outside his boundaries in doing that. And I say by going outside those boundaries, there were people who were not registered, who could have been registered, and there were people who wanted to register folks that did not register people because they thought they couldn't because they didn't have that certificate, which in the way I look at it, is a violation of our civil rights to be able to give a person the right to vote. And Mr. Collins went outside of his bounds when he instructed individuals in Brooks County that they must have a driver's license in order to get a sample ballot. Again, I asked Mr. Collins why he would say that to individuals. His statement was that he wanted to ensure they got the right ballot. And I said, Mr. Collins, you can get the right ballot by just simply asking where do they live and what is their birthday. But if a person doesn't have a driver, there's nothing again in anything I've read that said a person must have a driver's license or a picture ID to get a sample ballot. A sample ballot. Again, what I want to make plain and clear is that that's another form of intimidation, whether it was meant to intimidate or not. It was a form of intimidation. What I would like to see in this investigation, it's never been my cause to have anyone terminated or anyone going to jail. My thing is that everyone has a right to vote. Everyone who is eligible has a right to register to vote. And when you do anything to impede that is paramount to voter suppression, and we can't allow that, and that should not be allowed. And that's where I would like to see this investigation go. See, I think when the investigation is truly looked at, beyond candidates' names being off the ballot, beyond wrong ballots going out to folks in the community, that we have a person that's running a very, very important job and has a very important position, but he is not trained to do that position. And that cannot be allowed, because when we allow someone who's not trained to be in a position like that, and just the two comments that I just brought up, then what happens is people get mixed and lost in the system, and that's not right. Everything starts with the Board of Elections as far as our rights as citizens to affect the laws of this land. So if it gets stopped there, if one person is missed there, then the whole system is wrong. So somewhere along the line, I believe the Secretary of State's office needs to come in and relieve, be it temporarily or whatever, Mr. Collins or the Brooks County Board of Elections of their duties and responsibilities until someone who is trained properly and is signed off so that citizens of Brooks County can be confident that each one of their votes are going to be counted, and that everyone who wants to register or who has the ability to register will have that ability. But if a person doesn't have a drive, there's nothing again in anything I've read that said a person must have a driver's license or a picture ID to get a sample ballot. A sample ballot. Again, what I want to make plain and clear is that that's another form of intimidation, whether it was meant to intimidate or not. It was a form of intimidation. What I would like to see in this investigation, it's never been my cause to have anyone terminated or anyone going to jail. My thing is that everyone has a right to vote, and everyone who is eligible has a right to register to vote. And when you do anything to impede that is paramount to voter suppression. And we can't allow that, and that should not be allowed. And that's where I would like to see this investigation go. See, I think when the investigation is truly looked at, beyond candidates' names being off the ballot, beyond wrong ballots going out to folks in the community, that we have a person that's running a very, very important job and has a very important position, but he is not trained to do that position. And that cannot be allowed, because when we allow someone who's not trained to be in a position like that, and just the two comments that I brought up, then what happens is people get mixed and lost in the system, and that's not right. Everything starts with the Board of Elections as far as our rights as citizens to affect the laws of this land. So if it gets stopped there, if one person is missed there, then the whole system is wrong. So somewhere along the line, I believe the Secretary of State's office needs to come in and relieve, be it temporarily or whatever, Mr. Collins or the Brooks County Board of Elections of their duties and responsibilities into someone who is trained properly and is signed off, so that the citizens of Brooks County can be confident that each one of their votes are going to be counted, and that everyone who wants to register or who has the ability to register will have that ability.
You're going to also do me a statement?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir.
I've already done one statement on the website.
How long ago was that?
The day before the last Board of Elections meeting.
So you actually did it on our website and
Yes, sir.
submitted it to Atlanta?
Yes.
Okay. Would you mind doing another one?
Sure.
Okay.
Was it the 16th of June? July? Is that when it was?
Can I make another statement?
Yes, sir.
It's not on that one, but I don't think that we should get a... On the night of the election, on the night of the election, the election supervisor was very unprofessional, because I know I've been around for a long time. That's right. This is my 5th term, and I've never seen an election supervisor that will go out to the general audience, you understand, and declare, you understand, that we are going to have a runoff before the votes are in. And that's exactly what Mr. Ken Collins was doing. He was saying, well, I know, you understand, that we are going to have one runoff, and people get stunned, saying, well, how can he say that, you understand, when the votes are still coming in? Well, that's what happened. And when the votes, you understand, and the district he was talking about was District 5. That's right. That was the district that we were having all the problems in. What happened? So he assured, you understand, that everyone that was at the strike, the election area that night, he was assuring them that in District 5 we will have a runoff. But when all the votes was counted, there was no runoff. What happened? And to me, you understand, he was very disappointed. But he's supposed to be bipartisan. He's supposed to keep his mouth closed. That's something he don't supposed to be walking around, out there, among the public and telling, the people who was running that we're going to have a runoff. That's right. And that's something that he, shall not do. He cannot do. See that, but he did.
Okay.
And we can follow up on that too, brothers.
Can I just make one comment? Something that I'm really confused about. How can a 501c3 corporation file a complaint? I thought it was, to my knowledge, that an elector had to file a complaint. And I do not understand, especially a 501c3 nonprofit organization being allowed to file a complaint.
I can't answer any.
I know.
But you address.
And another question. I'm confused about this.
Yes, ma'am.
I mentioned to you earlier that the rules change it overnight for some reasons, but the little legal knowledge that I know, notarized statements. The purpose is to validate a notarized statement. And once that notarized statement is notarized, there cannot be any changes on notarized statement. But my question is, how can you change a notarized statement and it be legal?
Mr. Archie, were you the actual investigator that came down 2 weeks ago and met with the people here in Brooks County?
I was here a couple weeks back, sure was.
Were you provided the film from that Board of Elections meeting?
You're addressing something that's, of course, on the internet, I guess?
Yes, sir.
I can't answer any questions about my investigation. So.
Okay, but my question, were you provided that film? We had made a CD for your office. Did you get that CD?
I have not been given a CD.
Mr. Rhines, we still have that CD?
I've sent it to the Secretary of State's office.
Oh, you have?
I sent it on the web. I sent it to them. And if not, I will give all that information to you.
How do you spell your last name, sir?
Rhines, George Boston. Rhines, R-H-Y-N-E-S.
Yes, sir.
Boston G.B.R. is a YouTube for that, but I'll make sure that you get that.
Mr. Glenn, I would like to add at this moment also, we have a lot of voters that are totally confused, and I didn't have time to get all the documents. I will get those to you.
Yes, ma'am.
But the confusion is about the whole election process. For example, in previous years, those people who need assistance in reading, my understanding is this time we didn't have that. This is the first time since 1965 that people were not allowed to assist those who are not as technical savvy or informed to assist others. And, like I told you, I didn't have time to get all the statements in, but I will get those statements to you.
If you could furnish those to me, I'll follow up on that too. I will follow up on that if you give me those statements.
This is why this investigation and a response back to the citizens of Brooks County was so important. Yet, I received phone calls in terms of why the Georgia Secretary of State never got back with the people in the community.